What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We're in pre-show, getting everybody logged on, and we will be live on Spreely and Wimkin shortly. If you have not had a chance to go over to Wimkin or Spreely TV, we broadcast the show. You can also watch it on the DUMShow.com, Facebook, Twitter, all that type of stuff. But Wimkin, one of the best places to watch it. It's a growing channel. Got a lot of people watching, which is always good. We'll be going live there shortly, as soon as we strike 7 o'clock here and it pops up. Good show tonight. I want to apologize. It says that Donald Trump, we're going to broadcast the Arizona rally live, but Charlie Kirk put it out 4 hours ago and, of course, said it was tonight just to draw some attention. And then half the people were like, where is it? It's not till tomorrow. So that's an easy fix. We'll be on tomorrow. Olivia will be back. That way we can watch the Trump rally together, take some comments. Got a nice little workout in. Feeling great. Hope everyone's doing well. You can call into the show. We'll have that number up. Update, $378.35 on donations so far for the month, but we've only been on twice, so thank you for that. Great night last night with CEO Jason Shepard from Wimkin. Had some people from Wimkin just cut their teeth on the show, and of course people, which we expect, people are like, I hate this guy. I've come to grow fond of that because it's when you give people time, you may not like them when you first meet them, but you give them time and ultimately you might. And then again, you might not. But either way, we've got something to say and we're going to continue to say it. 2 minutes. I want to cover something. I want you to chew on this. It's kind of some homework. The right to hold federal office or employment. The United States Constitution does not prohibit felons from holding elected federal office. However, various federal statutes provide that a conviction may result in the loss of ineligibility for office. Texas law prohibits any person convicted of a felony from being a candidate for public office or holding any public office position. A full pardon restores eligibility to run for office. What do you think? Is that true or false? Do we believe it? Good old Texas, my old stomping grounds. That's straight from their Constitution. Does it apply to Donald Trump? Well, the left says it does, and I'm here to tell you if that's true or not. Think about that, will you? For the next, I don't know, minute and something seconds. And tell me what you think. Does that mean that Donald Trump can't be on the ballot in Texas? Does that mean he can't run for president in Texas? See what you think. I already know the answer. I wouldn't ask. Don't look it up. Use your gut. What do you guys think? Hi, Lady J. What's going on? Deborah. Hello. Paul. Maureen. What's going on, Dumb Nation? We should be green here shortly on Wimkin. 7 o'clock. So Spreely and Wimkin viewers, hello. We should have your feed kicking in any second. Now, let's hope it's 37 seconds. That way we can get there. The question is, can Texas decide not to allow Donald Trump to run and be on the ballot because Texas law prohibits any person convicted of a felony from being a candidate for public office or holding any public office position? A full pardon restores eligibility to run for office. Does it stick? What do you think? Let me know. Inquiring minds want to know. We're live. We're getting out of here. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Wimkin people, good to have you. You are set, and I am popping smoke on Wimkin.
Done the lies on the evening news. Well, just stand right here talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn, so what's your name? I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Exclusive benefits on thedumclub.com. You can get quarterly gift boxes. You get videos if you want for your birthday or possibly just to say, hey, great job. You're worth it. You're a great person. Cost Club membership. Get discounts. It's like Amazon, all made in the USA. Premium news content. You can even have breakfast with Olivia and I. If you're in town, we're not flying to you. We're not that rich. Maybe someday. But right now, you can join thedumclub.com where everyone feels wealthy by getting bronze, silver, or gold. Stop on by thedumclub.com. Wimkin, if you haven't signed up, go do it.
Hey, Hog Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The DUM Show and his website. Yeah, don'tunfriendme.com.
Hey, thanks, Hodge Twins. You guys are nice. Appreciate you.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
John, Violent, Alan, and who am I missing? And Jason, all over on Wimkin. Good to see you over there. If you haven't been over there, go to wimkin.com. Go to Spreely TV if you want to watch the show too. You can have it over there live. You can get it on your Roku and your Apple device and Amazon Fire Stick. Liv's not here. Well, she should be here, but she is with better. She's with Hayden, and there Hayden got picked to be who was she? Shmi in Peter Pan. So we were working on her English accent, and then I think she's doing Shrek. So they're doing the high school. They're getting introduced to the plays at high school. She starts high school next year, and she's in the theater and choir and drama club and all that stuff. And we're a very small town. So when fire truck, ambulance, or police car go by, it's really rare. So it's like strange. Anyway, so that's where Olivia is. She'll be here hopefully later. If not, it's just you and I. We can have an intimate relationship. This is great for the Wimkin viewers because they usually probably haven't seen me like this, which is more in a one-on-one setting unless they've watched the recorded show. But it's good to have everyone here. Thank you so much for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. I don't know if you've noticed, but 195,269. Yeah, that's 4,500 more than it was 2.5 days ago. We had a meme go viral. It's pissing off liberals left and right. And we've had 7.5 million interactions in the last 72 hours, 63,000 comments, 1.6 million views on a meme. And what's great is it's bleeding over another thing. So we're going to have a lot of new viewers tonight, probably people who've never watched the show who, want to go ahead and call me a Trump tard and all that stuff. And that's great. I love that. I love those people. If you're a troll, you have a home here. I won't block you. You're important because you keep my page going with all your hate. And anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Suffering leads to the dark side. Yes, it does. And we love that. Let your anger flow through you. Sorry. What are we talking about tonight? We're not doing a Trump live rally because Charlie Kirk screwed up. Charlie Kirk said it was tonight. I have a feeling that's a happy accident, a fortuitous accident, just so people show up tomorrow. So we'll cover it Thursday. It's a Phoenix rally. We'll hear from Trump. We'll watch it, have some commentary. Let's get a few things settled. I want to show you something. And this is something that it took me a little bit, and a lot faster than it took me to embrace Wimkin and jump on board. Because I said no matter what I did, if I ever, whether I had 5 followers or 5 million, I was never going to endorse a product that I wouldn't use myself or believe in. And this is interesting. I want you to take a look at this. This is from Jason Shepard and Wimkin. They have developed a fentanyl test kit. And I want to get your thoughts. And before I fully jump into this, and I've got a lot of friends in law enforcement, alphabet agencies, and a lot of our viewers have been impacted by fentanyl. And, I have a presence at the school board here in Virginia. And it's something I think is pretty cool. Tell me what you think about it. Watch this real quick. It's not an ad. It's just something to think about. And tell me your thoughts. Here it is. To me, it's.
Are you tired of being constantly banned off of every social media?
Yeah, I know.
platform?
Everybody wants to see this ad. We'll show that one. Okay, all right. Guy sounds like Jason Shepard. We'll show that one in a second. To me, it's the fentanyltest.com, and there is a code for us. It's DUM Show, I believe, is what Jason said, and it's 10% off. And here are the things that I think about it real quick, and then we'll move on. And we'll talk about this more and extensively, because we'll bring Jason on, we'll bring the owner on, and we'll have a conversation. I had a chance to meet him on the phone. Where I see this being used for civilian use is in a go bag. And I plan on buying it for my go bag, and I'll tell you why. Is if I'm ever in a situation, and I'll tell you this, if you don't believe that the fit can hit the shan and you're going to need to bug out, just ask the people with Hurricane Katrina or what I went through in Hurricane Harvey. I was in the middle of this. I've got photos. People have seen it. 20 feet of water covering our town. Light poles covered with water. Us surrounded on an 80-foot uprise, but literally a 240 million gallon reservoir was on the precipice of just going over. Now, if that situation takes place, it's if you don't have a boat, you're in deep shit. And if you think I didn't have a bug out bag ready to go at that time because there was looting, most people helped each other, but we know that in times of fight or flight, people will do whatever it takes to survive. So in that situation, I'm going to do whatever I can to survive and take care of my family, whether that's going house to house, abandoned houses, getting food, getting whatever. Look for medication, look for antibiotics, look for something that I can trade, looking for, water purification tablets or potassium and alcohol, things like that, so I can start a fire quickly, or flint and steel, anything I don't have. I'm going to try to find the things that I need that I know how to survive. And one of these things would most assuredly be a fentanyl test kit. And something I never thought I would need, but when I was sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I would, especially in today's world, you don't know what you're getting. You know what type of medicine you're getting. You know if it's black market. You don't know if it's off the street. You don't know if it's, maybe even in your kids, God forbid, you find weed or you find something in their car and paraphernalia, and you want to know, but you don't want to call the police and you want to find out. Or if you're a recreational user and want to test your product before you consume it. Now, I'm not an advocate of people who do drugs, but I certainly understand it. I was addicted to opiates for about 20 years. So after my surgeries and recovery from my accidents in the military, I was a habitual addict. So I get it. But either way, none of that really is here nor there, but I can see this being used for law enforcement, schools, and so many other uses. So it's something you guys can take a look at. Tell me what you think. I want your feedback. This isn't a sales pitch. In fact, I would rather have you not buy something right now. I want you to go to the site and look at, feel, get an idea for it. What do you think? And is it something that we should have on the DUM Show? Because I trust your opinions. I do. And whether it's shirts that we sell or coffee or anything else, the documents of freedom, I've always asked you, what do you think? I show you the new shirt designs, show you whatever, and you let me know what you think. If you don't like it, we scrap it. And if you do, then we use it. Dumbbeef.com was a nice thing, but a lot of people were like, you know what, it's too expensive. And I'm like, great. You haven't heard me talk about it since. So anyway, just something to think about. I hope you give it some consideration and let me know. Moving on from that, it was a great show last night. It was fun to have Jason Shepard on. It was fun to have the Wimkin folks on. And I hope there's no ill feeling towards any of the viewers from Wimkin. It's interesting. Jason is a very fierce, loyal friend. And for someone who I've only known for a short period of time in a business setting, but personally off and on for a year, to have him stand up and say, no, I don't agree, to people that he actually respects. He kept going on and on about these guys. And it makes me feel, really strong that I made the right decision by partnering with this guy, because I know when I make a mistake that he's not going to kiss my ass and he's just going to tell me, Matt, you're wrong. And I think that's probably one of the most authentic things that you can get. So anyway, really cool. So anyway, let's get to it. We've got a lot to cover tonight, and I want to stay on track. So there's a couple of things that have been going on. I want to address this first. I put this up on the pre-show, and I know a lot of people are probably, bugging out over this. It says the right to hold federal office or employment, the United States Constitution does not prohibit felons from holding elected federal office. That's true. It doesn't prohibit a lot of things. There's just three basic requirements to run for office. Federal statutes provide that a conviction may result in the loss of ineligibility for office. However, Texas law, the state constitution of Texas, prohibits any person convicted of a felony from being a candidate for public office or holding any public office position. A full pardon restores the run for office. Now, here's the question. The question is, yes, Texas law does prohibit convicted felons from running for state and federal office, but the federal law allows for convicted felons to run as long as they don't have a federal felony conviction. So when you look at this, even though you look at the charges that Donald Trump has, it's usually processed in a federal court, FEC violations. This wasn't. And this is where the overreach, one of the many overreaches, took place with this trial. So just because it's a federal law being processed in the state, it does not circumvent federal law. In fact, federal law can't circumvent state law unless it's mandated with a 2/3 majority. That's the way it works. And it can't be rescinded without a 3/4 majority. And that's the change to the Constitution. And thank God for that. The Founding Fathers wanted an amendment to be simpler than rescinding an amendment, because the belief was adding stipulation to the Constitution and amending it through time, as when people say a living document, which it's not, it's more of the amendment is adding an appendage to the document, very different than a living document, because really the core, the heart, the brains, the lungs, those things stay the same in the Constitution and are the absolute most paramount thing, which are the Bill of Rights. But there are other amendments can be added to it to keep up with the times. So they wanted an easier way to process the 2/3 majority, but to remove or rescind something from the Constitution is a 3/4 majority. Perfect example is prohibition. Prohibition was amended with a 2/3 majority and then rescinded with a 3/4 majority, which took a little bit longer because obviously to get 75% of the state's legislature to agree on anything is difficult back then and even more so today. So when we talk about this, no. Texas has absolutely, there is nothing on the table I have spoken to one state legislature, and I talked to a sheriff friend of mine, and the answer is most assuredly there is absolutely no push to remove Donald Trump from the ballot in Texas, and they will not be proceeding with this because it doesn't circumvent federal law. Okay, so that's something that is good to know. And now when somebody goes, oh, look at the state of Texas, it's turning purple, which it's not, and it's a complete lie. The only reason that Ted Cruz and Beto O'Rourke were even close is because Ted Cruz did not endorse Donald Trump with a full-throated weight during the RNC, and Republicans punished him for it. The younger generation in particular said, we're going to make Ted sweat. We're not going to go ahead and show up until later in the polls, or we're not going to go ahead and show up in the bigger cities, and we're going to allow the rural areas to come in. And that's the funny thing is Beto O'Rourke had like a 4.5% lead going into like 7 o'clock Houston time. And I said, you guys, by 8:15, that guy's going to be losing by 2 or 3%, and the entire state's going to be red. And that's exactly what happened. So Texas is not purple. It's not even close to purple. It's not going to flip purple. The reason why is a lot of these phone calls, a lot of these polling centers call the bigger cities because there's a more propensity for people to answer. It's a bigger city. They have landlines, everything else. It's different than the rural areas, and you don't get a strong sampling when you call the metropolitan areas. It's just the way it is. So they call El Paso, they call San Antonio, they call Dallas, Houston, Corpus Christi, and Austin, which are all Democratic strongholds. So you don't see them calling, any of the rural areas, so to speak, of Texas, which, let's face it, Texas is all a large rural area. They stand with Trump, and they will stand with Trump. So that will put that to bed so everyone can relax on that. However, I got some good stuff for you. By the way, real quick, I forgot to put this back up, and I don't want to distract too much, but talked about the goal earlier. That is what we're focused on, to keep our show is completely funded by the viewer. We do have some funding by Wimkin, which is fantastic, and Jason's helping that, and also Spreely TV, but the bulk of it comes from you. After we lost 90% of our Facebook revenue, they really took it away from everybody. It wasn't just me. They changed their rules. It really hurt the show. So we are funded by y'all. You've been amazing. The last 2.5 months, I can't even tell you. We have a goal of $32.50 a month. That's what we're looking for. That takes care of the lights. It takes care of the bandwidth. It takes care of the time that we spend in front of the camera and the research, and buys the food and keeps the electricity going, all that type of stuff. First ask is take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of your young ones. Please do that first. And then if you have some left over and you're like, hey, you know what? I got an itch in my pocket. You can help out the DUM Show. You can send it to the following, which is right here. Link tap go /the DUM Show. And if you go ahead and do that, you can tip. It'll show up here. And if you don't tip, that's fine too. I will actually put it in later in the show. All right. Ilhan Omar. She's deeply disappointed, folks. I know we're all extremely upset that Ilhan Omar is disappointed. Whatever will we do? She's frustrated because of the border policy. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. This whole bullshit with the border is strictly that. Joe Biden has sat 3.5 years on his hands and done absolutely nothing with the border. Now, H.R. 2 was passed by Republicans. Now, you can sit here and say Republicans don't do anything and blah, 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 but unfortunately, it's not true. H.R. 2 was passed, and it was without all the pork barrel junk. It funded the border wall. It continued to remain in Mexico. It had some solutions for DACA recipients, and we understand that. It put a cap on the amount of illegal immigrants, but also the asylum seekers, and put a stay of execution on asylum seekers. H.R. 2 pretty much imposes the things that Donald Trump did and the things that Democrats wouldn't allow. It's been sitting on McConnell's desk, Schumer's desk for, 2.5 years, 2 years and 2 months. So when they come here and go, well, Donald Trump shot down this policy. Well, he shot it down because it wasn't an American border bill. About 9% of the bill that they proposed went to the United States. The rest of it went to Ukraine and 12 different other countries for their border and not our own. Went to Israel, et cetera, et cetera. So for us to sit here and pretend that that Republicans are stalwarting this bill, no, the Freedom Caucus will not allow this to go through. And you have to give guys like Eli Crane and Lauren Boebert and I don't give her a lot of credit, but I got to give her credit for this. Matt Gaetz and Chip Roy and those guys, what they've done is they have said, we want single issue bills. We're sick of pork barrel politics. We don't want these omnibus bills. You need to bring a single issue in front of us, and it can have ties and lines of sinew and delineation to it. Like if you want to go ahead and propose something for roadways and bridges, and then you want to go ahead and attach solar power stations on those roadways and bridges, or lighting or something to that effect, that completely is synonymous with that bill's central focus. But if you want to go ahead and you do something for, re-navigating salmon streams and spawning grounds, and then go ahead and give, Aegis weapon cruiser defense systems to a foreign country, what the hell are we talking about here? Those two things should not be on the bill. We should Sesame Street all bills, is what they're saying. So when Ilhan Omar's not happy, nobody's happy. I mean, let's face it. I mean, the woman should be locked up. She is a stain. Now, and this is the sad thing. Out of all the politicians in Washington, D.C., the scum and most vile people on the planet who are just permeated with dark money and have abandoned the American people, she's the worst. I mean, really. Rashid Tlaib and Ilhan Omar, they can both go to hell in a handbasket. She is a supporter of Al-Qaeda and ISIS. She is a sympathizer. She has worn ceremonial terrorist garb. She's worn a kafaya multiple times. So has Rashid Tlaib. So has Ayanna Pressley. They all have. And I can't absolutely stand any of them, but she takes the cake. Let's go ahead and watch what she had to say. It's 3 minutes. You're going to have to tolerate it. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. It's important, and you got to listen to this. So let's listen to it together, and we'll comment on what she has to say, because I think it's important to call her out for her endless string of bullshit. Sorry, guys and girls. I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's not showing up in audio. Let me figure that out real quick. Hold on. Huh. That's weird. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm going to work it out, folks.
Situations. I am today thinking about the
Is that better? Any echo?
Her home in Central America.
Is that better? Okay.
Children.
Sorry, y'all. That happens once in a while. I'm embarrassed. I feel bad. But hey, the great thing is I'm totally willing to listen to her bullshit twice. So let's do it. That was just the taste test. So you could get her face in your system. It's kind of like doing a shot first. Yeah, I know. But now you've got that. Now you can listen to her voice. Sorry about that. I know, no sound. I got it. Here it comes.
Break and betrayal. I share your heartbreak and betrayal. I love this country, as many immigrants who do get the opportunity to come to this country do. The United States has been a beacon of hope for those fleeing persecution, violence, and oppression. Today's executive order undermines that legacy. Not only is this order a betrayal of the principle upon which this nation was built, it flies in the face of basic morality. Seeking asylum is a fundamental human right enshrined both in American and international law.
Okay. That's about, I'm going to play the rest, but I really can't listen to anything else. First of all, you're absolutely right. Seeking asylum is a fundamental right. It's an American, a national right, and an international right. In fact, anybody who steps foot on U.S. soil has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It's guaranteed. It is one of the most fundamental things about our country. It doesn't say shit about asylum. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When your asylum impacts the happiness or the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of other citizens who are actually citizens of this country, your rights are revoked. You still have them. You just aren't going to apply them in the United States of America. We're going to have you go back to where you are from, and you're going to have to fight your own revolution with your shitty ass government, stay in your own country and fix it, because it's not our responsibility to go ahead and assume the worst parts of your society and have them matriculate through ours by osmosis. It's just not there. Now, can everyone seek asylum? Sure, in a port of entry or going to the U.S. Embassy. You can do that, but that's not what we're talking about. What you're saying is illegal immigrants. These are people who they're not even immigrants. Immigration or immigration is a process. And to immigrate is to move from one area to another. To immigrate is to take oneself and to adopt and to assimilate to the country of origin that you are entering. Two very unique and usually synonymous things that are tied at different stages of the process. So for you to sit here and say, oh, well, I'm an asylum seeker. No, you're illegal. You're not an immigrant. You're an illegal. You have broken the law and intruded on this country and broken our laws. And now you want to seek asylum. You're a felon. You have committed a crime. So the answer is, if you want to seek asylum, you go to an embassy or you go to a port of entry. Now, it's not just you go in there and go, hey, I'm an asylum seeker. What you're doing is you're breaking into our country and you go, asylum. No. This isn't parlay. This isn't the Caribbean. We're not the East India Trading Company here, okay? You don't get to scream parlay when the pirates go ahead and ransack your town. You don't get that. That's not what, there is no amnesty on this shit. If you break the law and you scream asylum, I don't care what you do. You should be deported back to the country of origin. Now, when it comes to asylum, let's be clear. It's not an American port of entry or embassy. It is the first sovereign country that you come across when you exfil from your own borders. So if you leave Bolivia, wherever you cross from there, you will seek asylum in that country. And I hate to say it, everyone coming up from the southern border, folks, it's called Mexico. It's not us. You want to seek asylum, you go down to Mexico. That's the way it works. The only people who have a right to seek asylum in the United States without going through a port of entry or a U.S. embassy that is another country is Canada, because they don't have anyone else. So when a bunch of Canadians, when they decide to come on down, they want to go ahead and, try our maple syrup and play hockey in America because Canada can't win a cup. They come here and they don't have to go anywhere else. Yeah, you betcha. So that's what that's all about. But when it comes to, Pablo and Francisco and Juan Sanchez, you have to stay in the first sovereign country you come across. That's international law. So if you want to sit here and play tit for tat, she's full of shit as a Christmas goose. What she is saying is she is unhappy because illegal immigrants won't be able to invade our country anymore. And that's what's got her, her brother's panties in a twist.
Administration is serious about addressing the border crisis. The way to do that is to create more and quicker legal pathways, not to put asylum laws to the side. We have to remember that the victims of this policy will be the innocent. I want to say—
No, the victims of not putting this policy in place will be the innocent. Innocent Americans. Lady, pull your head out of your ass. By the way, why does it look like you're going to a freaking Halloween bash or a Thanksgiving dinner? You're a little off. What is it, summer solstice? Here's the problem that I have. If you swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States, you dumbass. Your loyalty is not to other people. Your loyalty is not to Hamas. It's not to ISIS. It's not to Al-Qaeda. It's not to the JAP. It's not to the KPP. It's not to the Islamic Brotherhood. It's not to Hezbollah or the Houthis. It's not to the freaking Kenyan diamond smugglers. It's not to the Moroccan pirates. Lady, your oath of office is to American citizens. We are the innocent. And you're allowing these people to come in and violate the sanctity of our country. The one thing that is assured is our border. That is what the government is for. You wouldn't even have a federal government if you were not charged with protecting the United States and the citizens of this country. You do that by establishing and enforcing a border. You have world presence. You have a standing military to defend against foreign nations with harmful intent. You defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. What the fuck are you talking about? I apologize for the language, but seriously, how hard is this? Why does this lady have a job? She has shown time and time again that her interests are always outside of this country, and she puts everyone else first but us.
What it truly means for people fleeing unthinkable situations. I am today thinking about the mothers fleeing her home in Central America who has 2 children escaping brutal violence.
Awesome. Establish that establish that you're escaping brutal violence. Ensure that you have some form of record. You have filed the proper paperwork. You have all the legal documents proving your story. I mean, for the love of God, all you have to do is write it down. And when you get to the point of entry or the U.S. Embassy, it is enough for them to go ahead and look at that as authentic. It's not like the proof of burden is, okay, we need DNA evidence. All right, love, we're going to need DNA evidence. You have that? No? Fuck us. Well, let's see what's next. Semen, blood sample. Do you have that? No? Shits. Well, do you have African-laden swallow's penis? You don't have one of those? Shit. What about the cup of Christ? Do you have that? Okay. Well, you're completely fucked. It's not how hard it is. Tell us what you're fleeing. Please walk us through the situation. Where is your family? Are they political prisoners? Please tell us what has happened to you where you are seeking asylum. It's not that difficult. But this doesn't work. Vato, shit, man, I don't fucking like where I live, eh? Dude, I got a fucking donkey. That's what I go ahead and take every day. I go to the plant, I go home. My bitch doesn't cook me dinner. Fuck her, man. Fuck her. I tell you, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'd rather come to this piece of shit country and fucking work here. Sir, we're going to have to tell you no. And you're going to have to go home. You don't have to go home. You just can't stay here. We're with you. We have wives too, but you're going to have to leave. Oh, that's fucked up, eh? That's it. You're out of here. Get out. But you do that in Mexico. So instead of having an English guy or an uptight John Smith American, you have to go down and you have to go to Mexico and talk to them. Not us. Not us. Them. So when she's like, oh, they're from El Salvador, they're from Cuba, they're from Bolivia, they're from Honduras. Great. How about the Chinese? Explain to me how Chinese people are getting imported into South America and then brought up through Mexico. Does anyone want to explain that to me? Just tell me how. 8,100% increase. We just did this. We're going to do it again. If you haven't watched the Slap Check today, you need to watch these things, man. Listen, you guys go, oh, Matt, dude, your recorded shows are so long. It's so hard to find the 12 minutes to listen to them. The drudgery of being made to be entertained and educated, it's so hard. So I've given you 1 minute shows, and even then, I don't know, man. If there's not enough information. I can't stand this. Listen. Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation. Matthew Spear, and this is Slap Check. Don't worry, liberals. For years, you've been predicting the end of the earth. From acid rain to ozone, nuclear power, the rainforest, ice vehicles, murder hornets, global cooling. Oh, this is today's. No climate change. COVID. No, wait. It's just weather. We know you want Armageddon, and after 75 years of hyping it up, you may get your wish. Who would have thought all those prognostications would be nothing compared to you electing Joe Biden Thanks, liberals. You've done more damage than all those hoaxes you've been worried about combined. Okay, so it wasn't today. I pulled a Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to lie. I knew it was today's, and I did it anyway because I wanted to make sure people watched it. Okay? I'm guilty as charged. Don't give me any shit. Okay? So it was the wrong one. This is important because all these, Greenpeace, freaking socialist progressives and failed musicians are on my feed, and they're driving me just freaking bat crazy. So I had to make that video. So here's the real one. I'm sorry. I apologize. I shouldn't have slow rolled you like that. I'm slow rolling you now because I can't freaking find the damn thing. So bear with me. Here it is. Maybe. God, look at this. I work my ass off. There better be some donations in that inbox. Seriously, come on, people. Here it is. Finally execute an order to secure the border on Tuesday after waiting 3.5 years. Good morning, Joe Biden, and welcome to Slap Check. Joe will finally execute an order to secure the border on Tuesday after waiting 3.5 years for a politically advantageous moment. His open border policies have caused the number of illegal immigrants evading Border Patrol, known as gotaways, to surge. Since Biden took office, there have been more gotaways than the previous decade combined. 1.4 million in 10 years versus 1.6 million in just 3 years. Biden's policies have led to over 9.2 million illegal immigrant encounters nationwide, with 7.6 million at the southern border and a 390% increase in gotaways. Over 200,000 deportation cases were dismissed due to DHS failures. March saw 189,000 illegal encounters and the 37th consecutive month of record high numbers. This crisis cost the U.S. $150 billion annually, burdening taxpayers with $1,156 each year, or paying for the border wall 75 times. Over 350 individuals on the terror watch list have been stopped, with 75 so far in fiscal year 2024. Encounters of Chinese nationals have surged by 8,500% since March 21. Joe, just wait, there's more. Crazy Eddie slashing prices. It's not 8,500, folks. We've got the update. It's 8,900 as of 11:59 p.m. Eastern this morning. 8,900. I mean, are you kidding me? Listen, I love Chinese food, but this shit's going to get ridiculous. Oh, Domino's Pizza. Oh, would you like Domino's Pizza? We've got some Domino's Pizza. The only problem with eating Chinese Domino's Pizza is you want to eat it again an hour later. I am so sick of slap checking you, asshole. So if you're not watching the slap checks, do me a favor. Start. They're good. I put a lot of work into those things, and the graphics are stupendous. Give me a break. Nobody's cutting videos like that. Name anybody who's doing it besides Mr. Beast, but he's got like a guy doing it for $100,000 a year. Jason, I'm employable. FYI. Here we go.
Thinking about the father who made the atrocious journey from Cameroon because his only choice was to face the
Angel, hang tight. I'll answer that question.
constant threats of death and make the journey. I'm thinking about the teenager whose community has been destroyed by climate crisis, who knows.
Oh, give me a break. Which community was destroyed by climate crisis? Was there a hurricane? That's not climate crisis, lady. That's what happens. Shit happens. Typhoons happen. Earthquakes happen. It just baffles me. You guys blame everything on global warming, but people have pulmonary embolisms and all of a sudden are just dropping dead at the age of 18 who are Olympic athletes, but you can't associate that with a vaccine. The lines of just your distortion reality fields are so fucked up. Liberals, if you would just apply all the bullshit that you go ahead and tie together with the things that you don't, you might be tolerable, but you're not. Because we're just sitting here going, dude, how much evidence do you need to know the things that we've been screaming, whether it be P-tapes or whether it's pallets full of cash to Iran is going to fund terrorists, or whether it's the USMCA gap that Bill Clinton, we told you freaking 30 years ago that USMCA was going to absolutely create a trade, or excuse me, scratch for that. NAFTA, North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement between Canada and Mexico was going to create a deficit of unequal proportions, and we were going to lose trillions of dollars. We did. How many times does Donald Trump have to tell you that recognizing Jerusalem would not split the Middle East, that it would actually unite the Middle and the East because they would get the one thing that they don't have: leadership. Leadership. North Korea didn't launch any ICBMs or test one of them. Afghanistan didn't kill American troops. And yes, it's because he negotiated with the Taliban. I don't agree with some of the things Donald Trump did. I didn't like that he released 5,000 ISIS, Al Qaeda and Taliban leaders. I don't like that. Guess what? I'm not the president of the United States. I don't get to go ahead and make those distinctions. But he did enough for me to go ahead and say, I can see the signs. He got Space Force involved. Isn't it funny that he created Space Force and greenlit Space Force, and then the hypersonic missile was announced, Mach 11 from Russia, that can basically be launched from Moscow and up your butthole in a matter of like 4.5 minutes? Yeah, that thing. Oh, geez, I wonder why we need Space Force now. Everyone's like, holy shit, now I know why liberals, if they ever had an original thought, and if they ever admitted that they were wrong, you could take a piece of coal, shove it up their ass, and in 2 weeks it would be a diamond.
Only chance of a better life will be found in the United States. These stories are not unique. It is echoed by the countless others who look to America as a place of refuge. As a refugee myself to this country, I know what this executive order means for so many innocent people hoping for a better life. It was the border of Kenya that allowed my family to seek refuge and seek asylum. We are
and marriage
in the United States
and
should be better.
And we also really appreciate the Alabama state law where I can fuck my brother. It's really important to me. I absolutely appreciate it that I can marry my brother. There is something about his Swahili penis that is magical. I love it. I love it.
We are denying people the chance to live.
Wimkin's like, holy shit, where was this guy last night? This guy's in fuego.
Of violence. We are closing the doors.
Thank you, Mel. Holy shit. Wait, that
atrocities, no child
those Canadian dollars are flowing. Mel, every month you do this. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you so very, very much. That means the world to us. I know we've got a couple donations in here. I'm a one-man show tonight, folks. I've got 3 monitors. I literally have 180 degrees of viewing all around me, and I'm working them all. So bear with me. But Mel, I got yours. I'm sure there's others. Thank you so much, everybody. If you want to go and help out, linktapgo.com/thedumshow. This amazing pecan wit and this face, it doesn't make itself, folks. I mean, this is hard. Do you know how hard it is to put this together? I'm 50 years old. I want to eat pizza and drink beer. I'm doing this for you. So take care of me, and I'll take care of you. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it.
We are closing the doors on families who have lost everything. Today's executive order does not reflect the America I know, the America I love. A country built by immigrants, a country that stands up for the oppressed. We have a moral obligation to establish a just immigration system.
We have a moral obligation to bring these families here so they can come here and murder their babies in peace and in trust and in love. Allow them to murder their offspring like any good American. We owe them that. We owe them to live in the inner city where they're making shit wages and shit jobs with shit education in our modern day slave plantations. They have earned the right to live in 75-year succubus hellholes where your choices are to deal smack on the end of the road or die before you're 23 years old. Yes, they've earned that right, folks, where modern day eugenics is in full swing, where we can't go ahead and kill Native Americans anymore because there's not enough of them. So let's kill black people instead. Swahilis are good. Somalians, whatever, as long as you're not white and elite and gay. But if you're Jew, we'll go ahead and throw you in there too, because we're the Democrat Party. We only like people who think like us.
human beings, a system that upholds our values and offers a lifeline to those who are in desperate need. We cannot allow fear and xenophobia to dictate our policies, which is why I hope that the Biden administration will change course. We must stand up for the voiceless, the vulnerable, the innocent victims caught in this cruel executive order.
What about your constituents? What about the people who put you there? Do you know what they're doing? They're sitting there in their 1-bedroom apartment, eating top ramen and store-bought grape soda or Hawaiian punch, and all it does is say punch in a white box with a red label. They get their food stamps. They get their government subsidies. They've got 6 kids in a 1-bedroom. Gunshots are flying across all over the place. Their cousin was killed last week. They've got another funeral to go to the week after that. They don't know who their dad is because they fled from the home because that father realizes that he can't compete with the endless pressure from the streets to make something of himself by making nothing out of himself. And you're going to sit here and sell us this I have a dream bullshit. I feel bad for the people in Somalia. I feel bad for the people in the Congo. I feel bad for Chinese people. I feel bad for the Uyghurs. I feel bad for the people in this world who face oppression, but I'm sorry. I don't have time to show sympathy for them. I'm too busy showing sympathy for vets that are blowing their fucking heads off at 22 a day. I'm too busy looking at the single moms who are trying to make ends meet and can't because you incentivize fathers literally to do the one thing and the only thing that they shouldn't do, which is abandon their families. I can't stand it. I can't stand it that you sit here on the West and East Coast and you pretend that somehow the Rust Belt and the Midwest are inferior because we do the shit jobs. Fuckers, we provide you your food. We provide you your water and your energy, you assholes. Those jobs that none of you uppity pricks will do on the East and West Coast because you all want to be doctors and gender studies professors. Well, there's people out there who work their frickin' fingers to the bone. They have their backs broken, and they suffer from more workman's comp than all of California and New York combined. But they're only 1/10 of the population. Explain that to me. Because they do the blue-collar jobs. They do the jobs that you don't want to do. And what do? You shit all over us that our welfare are high in these red states. Well, why don't you send some doctors? You want to talk how our healthcare is shit in the red states? That's because none of your doctors want to do it. They want to go live in Beverly Hills and jerk each other off with Teslas. Why don't you come here and drive a fucking Ford? You'll make more money and you'll love your life and you'll be happy and the best food in the world. And you'll meet a beautiful country girl. There's nothing wrong with small town living. There's nothing wrong with small town people. But you assholes believe that because you're the party of education and wherever the hell that came from, you can't even identify what a man is and a woman is, and you expect us to believe that you're the educated party? Give me a break. Angel says no more F words. I don't think so, lady. Not tonight. I'm fired up.
Thank you all so much for being here, for sharing your stories. It doesn't end here.
Oh, no more F words. Yeah, y'all. Listen, Facebook's on me. The moment that I endorsed Wimkin, Facebook is coming after me. So they're doing this for the political stuff. They're trying to get viewers off, and they're trying to keep our numbers low. Like this show right now should be up in the 180s, 190s. It's too good of a show. But they're throttling it. So if you got to stop cussing. Don't make death threats. Don't cuss. Just put a little dot. Don't say the word dead. Don't say the word kill, just K with a period ILL. Do an F ampersand CK. I'm not trying to censor you. I want to keep you around. So if you're on Facebook, you have to be careful, okay? You have to be careful. They're coming after my viewers. And this is what they did in the election year. And it's an easy way for them to get you out of here. And listen, you can go on Wimkin and watch. Maybe it's time to make the jump. Maybe it's time to leave Facebook, y'all. Maybe this is the day that you go, you know what, screw this. I'm done with it because Wimkin's not going to censor you. You can say whatever you want. They've got people over there right now who are chatting it up. I don't even know how many. We have 51 comments over there. There's like, I don't know, 15, 16 people. There's 2,500 views. Is that what it is? No, 3,300 views. Go over there. Go to Wimkin. Go create an account. Jason's there. He's ready for you right now. Say, hey, this is my name. And so he'll get you approved because Wimkin doesn't allow trolls. They don't allow bots. It is a real person environment, 100% free speech. Maybe it's time to leave. And then you can say everything you guys want. And you can talk like me and have a potty mouth. We're almost done with this bullshit. Give it a second. Here we go.
Continue to fight until our country holds up its legacy and lives up to its promise. Thank you.
Ilhan Omar's loyalties are not to the United States of America. You know, when she said about 9/11, just something happened, you know. She has espoused support for ISIS and Al-Qaeda. She openly promotes Hamas. Now here's the thing. I understand a lot of people are like, Matt's a Zionist. I am. There you go. I just admitted it. I am a Zionist. I believe that Israel should be a sovereign nation. And I believe that they have a claim to the land in the Middle East. That's what a Zionist is. So yes, I'm a Zionist. Why aren't you? Because every country should have a claim that is legit. Now, do I believe that Palestine is a country? No. Do I believe it once was? Yeah, just believe how I believe Navajo Nation and tribes were all over the United States, but we conquered them. And the Jews were conquered. And the Jews were exfilled by the Romans. And then the Turks and the Greeks, surprisingly enough, and Eastern Europe matriculated into Palestine. And everyone goes, well, it was Syria and Palestina. Well, that's not true. They're the Philistines. No, they're not the Philistines. The Philistines were from Eastern Europe and Greek. They were not Middle Eastern and of Middle Eastern descent. The Palestinians that you know, which people confuse with the Philistines, which have an ancient claim to the land, but are really no more and have matriculated into the surrounding Arab nations and countries and are still represented in Israel. Israel has a claim that's 3,000 years old to that land. And whether you like that or not is immaterial to me. The point is, they are the thriving nation in that area. They are the thriving country in that area. And they have a right to defend itself, and they have a right to be a sovereign nation. Now, does the United States need to go ahead and fight their war? Absolutely not. I don't want to be over there. I was over there. I worked with the IDF. I worked with Mossad. I have no desire to fight a war in Israel because that is a war that we don't want to be a part of. Do I want to go to war with Iran? No. Do I think we need to hit their missile sites? Yes. Do I think we need to send them back to the Stone Age? Yes. Do I think their nuclear facilities need to be literally GBU'd to bunker bustered to hell? Yeah, I do. Because I know what Iran wants to do with a nuke, and they just happen to be my AOR. And I wrote several strike packages against Iran with about 83 other intelligence professionals, and I will tell you that Iran is a dangerous country. Not because of the people. The people are amazing. In fact, it was like literally a modern-day Beverly Hills at one point. It had malls, and they had fluorescent type collared shirts. It looks like the fucking Brady Bunch. Then something changed. And the Shahs and the Ayatollah and the clerics took over. And like most countries that don't have a Bill of Rights and don't have separation of church, or not church and state, but separation of government, separation of governments and branches of government to checks and balance each other, you have a 3% to 1% of the population rise up and get the most out of what that government produces, and that is the people. And Iran fell to imperialistic and tyrannical rule like most countries do. The only problem is these people aren't just tyrants. The only problem is they're not just zealots. They believe that as many infidels, which is us and Jews and anyone who's not an Arab, they kill is a testament and an honor to their life. And if anyone here thinks that Iran, if they get a nuke, that they're not going to use it, I'm here to tell you that Iran will absolutely use it. Hi.
Hi.
How was it?
It was great.
Did Mom send pictures and video?
Yes, she did.
I love you. Did you have a good time?
I did. It was really fun.
Okay.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It's okay.
We had
Well,
2 weeks to do it, and it
Have mom send it to me. I'll put it on for everybody to watch. What do you mean no?
It's horrible.
Just get out of here.
No, it's absolutely
It's not horrible. You're beautiful.
Don't send it to him.
Okay, whatever. I'll show everybody. I promise not. If you leave, I promise not to show. If you don't leave now, I promise not to show them.
What?
Yeah, figure that out. Get out of here.
Don't leave now.
If you don't leave now, I promise not to show
So
them.
I stay.
So get
and
out.
You show them.
Get out.
But you just said I stay.
Get out. Hate it. Get out.
Don't send it.
That's my daughter. She just got home from her concert. Sorry to interrupt. Olivia, send it to me. So the whole point is I'm a Zionist. And I support the Jews unequivocally. Do I agree with everything the Jews are doing? No, but I told you. Anyone who was not watching the show, Wimkin people, I told everybody on October 8th, I said, two things are going to happen. Israel's going to give them a stay of execution for about 3 to 4 weeks. They're going to send up Willie Pete above the areas, white phosphorus. They're going to target these buildings and warn everybody to get the fuck out. And then they are going to kill everyone in the area indiscriminately. People are like, Jews won't do that. Jews, I'm telling you, you have no idea who they are. And the thing that I said is, if you flick somebody on the arm, they will cut your head off with a machete. Jews don't fuck around, and they can't. So when people ask me, you've got people like Fuentes, and you got people like Stu Peters and all these people, they dislike the Jews. They don't know why. They just have a bunch of talking points and a bunch of stuff that can't be explained because Zionists are evil and they're taking over the world. I understand that it's okay to dislike a government, and that's fine. You can dislike a government. But what's interesting is that they're all alt-right. So is Netanyahu. So it baffles me when they sit here and go, can't stand him. I can't stand his policies. I can't stand the way he's acting. Well, he's alt-right. And if you think that Netanyahu is not the leader of the alt-right movement in Israel, you're insane. So I try to stay out of that stuff. I don't necessarily promote everything Israel's doing. I just have a lot of friends and loved ones who I care about who are in Israel, and I want to see them safe and I want to see them survive. So shift gears just a little bit. Does that make sense? And you don't have to like that. And if you think I'm naive because of the Rothschilds and the New World Order and all that other crap, listen, folks, I don't understand how you can blame 0.4% of the world's population for every single problem in the world. The Jews don't have the money. The Jews don't have the influence. You pretend that they do. But trust me, you're seeing what people think of Jews now. And that's the other thing I said on October 8th. The world is about to tell you what they really feel about Jews. Believe them when they do. And guess what? Jew hate is really like Trey Chic right now. It's in fad. People love to do it. All right. This is good. This one's funny. We're going to do this real quick. This is a video of a guy who had a Trump flag on his dock. And this is so good. The HOA told him to remove it. So he wrapped his boat and literally put the flags all over his boat. And this is the video. And the left is just melting down over this. They can't stand it. Watch this.
Fenway, I'd love to play with you.
Fenway. Hey.
This is unbelievable.
The rest is coming.
He's just sticking his middle finger out. He's doing this.
I will tell you that I had the HOA. That is a nice boat. And those engines are incredible. I mean, that thing is a beast. I had my HOA. Every house I've moved into, whether it be New Mexico, Bakersfield, Houston, or here, I have put up a 30-foot flagpole every single time. And it's the first thing I do. I call a flag maker. I get a 30-foot, 150-mile-an-hour rated flagpole, and they're the ones you usually see in front of banks or schools. It cost me $3,500 or more, and we stick it in the ground. Absolutely. Every day, every time, every day and twice on Sunday. And we fly that flag 365 days a year, and we surrender it every 4 months or so when it gets frayed, discolored, and we retire it properly. And the HOA decided to go ahead and come after me. Violet says, Matt, we were told not to decorate our boat last 4th of July by our city officials. Yeah, go figure. So what I did is I said, screw it. And I put it in anyway. And the HOA showed up at my door. And this guy name was Mike. And he knew because they had several times tried to show him my property and tell me what to do. And my theory is that when the Third Reich fled Germany, they all became lawyers and HOA officials. And as he shows up, I'm like, Mike, what are you doing here? And he's like, Matt, I just want to let you know. We know about the flag. I'm like, how? Is it because it's literally casting a shadow over the entire town? And he goes, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to go ahead and fight a veteran, and I'm not going to go ahead and have that fight and us be the first HOA in the country that tells a veteran to take their flagpole down. I said, well, you can't, because that flagpole is 30 feet, and that truck on the top of it puts it at 30.5, and 30 feet above my house is FAA airspace. It's no longer owned by the HOA. It's no longer owned by the property, the bank, or escrow. It's owned by me. So that air above is mine. If you touch my flag, you're in violation. He's like, Matt, I already told you I'm not going to fight. I said, great. See ya. He goes, oh, one more thing. You got to take down the Colorado Avalanche flag. And I said, I will. He goes, thank you. And I said, after hockey season. And he's like, son of a bitch. Starts to walk away. And I said, oh, and by the way, when baseball season starts in April, I'm putting up the Astros too. He's like, you're trying to tell me you're going to run a sports team all year round. I said, that's absolutely correct. And you know, when Navy plays Army, I'll go ahead and put up the Navy flag for that one day. And he's like, you just happen to know that it's going to take us 3 months to give you the paperwork, and we have to give you a 90-day, essentially, a stay of execution until you're in violation, which is 6 months. I said, that's right. And that's a hockey season and a baseball season. So by the time you're writing up the paperwork, it'll already be down and a new flag will be up and you'll have to submit new paperwork. He's like, have a nice day, Matt. I'm like, yeah, you too, Mike. The point is you have the freedom of speech. And if you don't like that I have a Trump flag, or you don't like that I have a Trump door banner, or you don't like that I have a giant blow up lawn ornament of Donald Trump, you don't have to look at it. You can just avert your eyes and say, nope, I'm not going to look at it. I love what this guy did. Excuse me. It's his property. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Anything to trigger liberals is what I say. Anything you can do to trigger a liberal. What I would have loved to have seen is a puff of smoke when he stepped on the gas a little bit and had them freak out about that. I despise HOAs. Here is a video in Georgia. Now, this shit, there's two videos that can blow your mind. It's not Georgia, it's Oregon. I apologize to Georgians. Oof, so sorry. That was insulting. I know better. I should have known better. Folks, do me a favor. If you're over on Wimkin, share this out. Share the hell out of this thing. We want to break yesterday's record. We're at 4,371. That's pretty good. That means we're on pace to do about 9,000, which would be a few thousand over last night. But I want to crush it. Let's hit 10. Do whatever you can. Share it if you can. If you like the show, you think it's great, great. For those on Facebook and others, you guys know the drill. Linktapgo.com if you can help us out. I've got a couple donations here, I'm sure, that I will announce. But yes, I do. I am going to, when I play this video, I'll get them put in. I'm sorry, folks. I'm a loser. Let me get you taken care of here. Let me open the window first so I can do this quick, because everybody deserves, if you donate, you deserve to be put up on lights because you're helping us be successful. All right. I'm going to play this video.
I share your heart.
2-year-old.
Now, what this is Oregon, in the state. There's a police officer here. There was a call to non-emergency line that this man's son, who I believe is 2 years old, playing in his front yard, was flashed by a man who exposed himself completely, penis and all, to a 2-year-old. And the Oregon cops said that there's nothing they can do, that it's legal. And listen to the reasoning here, because it's bullshit. Ramon, thank you for donating. We appreciate you so much. Let's listen to this. Get ready to get some blood pressure up.
State of Oregon, someone can walk up to your 2-year-old kid completely bare naked, and that's not a crime, even if it's on your property.
Correct. Well, so it's trespassing, but what I'm saying is there's no laws against the actual nudity portion of it.
So you can expose yourself to children in Oregon.
Again, if you're not doing it for sexual gratification or the gratification of somebody else, yes, you are allowed to walk around in public naked.
On private property, this is where I live, and someone just came and exposed themselves to my 2-year-old boy, and this officer's saying that it's not a crime. So a naked person came up onto my property here, approached my 2-year-old kid, completely naked, which I ran over to him and covered his eyes so he wouldn't see. My obvious thought is to call 911 as someone's indecently exposing themselves to my child on my property. At what point did this become a normal and acceptable thing to do? The cops will literally do nothing about it. They're basically saying we have to wait for that person to do something more serious to your kid before we can intervene.
Fucking Oregon. I wanted to retire to Oregon at one point. My corporate headquarters was in Wilsonville for Game Crazy Hollywood Video Entertainment. We were up there all the time, and I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. By the way, Bob, I think you might be a Wimkin follower. I'm not sure. But thank you. 3140 helps out. Folks, you guys are amazing. We love you. Keep it up. Thank you. We appreciate it. You guys, it's been 2.5, 3 months now that I've been asking for donations. It's not easy. I don't like asking for donations. It was so much easier when Facebook would just take care of us, but this is the way it is. And I promise you, we appreciate it and we love you. We're not going to stop. So let's keep going. Here's what it comes down to is this video. And I want you to mark my words because I'm going to tell you something here. This video is going to blow you away. Now, this is not in the United States. And it's really important to see the words. So I'm going to try to make sure
And betrayal.
that you can see the words. This is a comedian. And of course, the guy's got a man bun and he's a douche plow. You know, he's a liberal. And I thought about that this was possibly fake. And I don't know, man. I've watched it a few times and I've listened to the comments. It doesn't seem to be fake to me. This comedian, this sick, pedo, disgusting, degenerate piece of crap, starts making fun of a child at another show who was sexually molested and raped by an African American, is my understanding, and was making jokes about it. This father heard about it and decided to come to the next show and confront the man. And here is what happened next.
Estos los comentarios pedófilos que ha hecho de mi hijo, Dígale a los comentarios de mi hijo, basura, ahora, ¿qué decías que iba a comer un negro? Mi hijo que iba a comer pollas, con 3 meses, basura, ¿ahora qué? Dímelo a la cara, aquí ahora, dímelo ahora. Perdonad, lo siento, os pido perdón. Soy únicamente un padre que defiende a sus hijos. Ha hecho comentarios sexualizantes de mi hijo de 3 meses. Por eso tiene sus consecuencias. No.
3-month-old, sorry, not 2.
Me denuncia. Ya está. Es que mira, es que te como.
That's the worst thing you can say when you're about ready to get your ass kicked by a father because you decided to go ahead and take one of the most emasculating moments for a dad. I understand. Listen, I'm a sexual abuse victim. Most people who watch my show know this. I've covered it. I've talked about it. I've done that show. I will never do that show again. And you can ask anyone in the chat from Facebook or anywhere else, or any of the mods or Olivia, and they will tell you.
Even if
they will tell you what episode it is, and you can listen to the story. But I will tell you that if my father knew, which he didn't at the time, it's one of the most emasculating things that can happen. And it's why I have protected my son and daughter to no end. And I mean, I do background checks on my neighbors. I use every resource that I have to ensure that my family is safe. They have signs. They know how to debilitate somebody who's touching them in that way. I've taught my kids everything that they need to protect themselves. And they know what to do. But if something did happen, it would be one of the most emasculating things for a father, because it's your one thing. It's like a mother losing their child in childbirth, or losing a child in a situation, and having that child lost a gold star mom, or they are in a traffic accident or whatever, God forbid. But a man allowing their children to be sexually assaulted or abused is I can't even imagine how hard it is. So when this guy sits here and goes, "Hey man, I don't want to sue you," you got a green light to just to fucking beat his ass. And he should have. That's like, "You're not going to sue me? Great. I heard you say that. I got that on tape. I'm now going to pulverize you into oblivion," because there is free speech, right? But this goes to the Alex Jones things. You have free speech, but the moment that you infringe upon someone else's rights, and their right to privacy, their right to safety, their right to whatever it may be, you are then infringing on another person's rights, and that's where yours stop. That's the way this works. So once again, you can shout fire in a theater. There are no consequences. There's no consequence to no one is stopping you from committing murder. Nobody's stopping you from shouting fire in a theater. Nobody's stopping you from aborting a baby, but there will be consequences for all those things. And that is what stops you, is the deterrence. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's censoring your ability to say fire. You can go say fire right now in a movie theater. You're going to go to jail, but you can do it. The consequences of your actions, not only will you be held accountable, but the consequences could be that some father decides to come and grab your fat, puffy ass and beat the shit out of you because you can't have the common decency not to traipse on a 3-month-old's tragedy. I hope not only does that father get away with this, but that the 3-month-old son sees you when you are old and gray and serves you food and decides to take a giant dump in your frickin' tuna fish sandwich. I hope it's a generational thing. They pass it down, screwing with you and your kin for the rest of your lives. There's some things you just don't joke about. And if you want to joke about something, there's people who joke about abortion and, but when you single it out to a person, a real person, and you unmask them on a stage, you better believe that there's going to be there would be consequences for me. I don't care about jail at that point. The point is that it's already an emotionally challenging situation for a father to go through, and for you to simply throw gasoline on that, you're an idiot. And I hold the same thing for Alex Jones. Alex Jones has every right to go ahead and say what he said about Sandy Hook, but there are consequences for his actions. When those people got doxxed, when those people got death threats, when those people were succumbed to harassing phone calls and emails, and people sending them letters and shit talking about how it's a hoax and that their children aren't dead. You know what? No, I don't think Alex Jones should ever be free from this. I think this should haunt him for the rest of his days. Financially, I think $1 billion is ridiculous. I think that's way too excessive. I think he should have to pay those families something, and I think he should have to remember this for the rest of his life. Yes, that's what I think. Fair enough. You don't have to agree. We'll see if people on WIM can agree with me. Like, son of a bitch, we love Alex Jones. By the way, my buddy Dominic Izzo does an amazing impersonation of Alex Jones. It's really good. So you got to listen to it. Piers Morgan. I don't like Piers Morgan. Yeah. I got a personal phone call from Rants of Izzo. Yeah. Izzo, I was on his show on Monday, and he did Alex Jones. He's like, rah, 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 rah. I could probably do Alex Jones. I do voices. I gotta try. Never tried it. Yeah, I can do it. I can do his voice. Never tried it. Yeah, I can do Alex Jones. Yep. It's just gonna take me a minute. I'll have to practice because you gotta draw kind of like. All right. Yeah, I can do his voice. It'll take me some time. I'll have it in a couple days, and then I'll come and do it. And you'll be like, how did you do that? I've been doing voices since I was 6 years old, and it doesn't matter, from John Wayne to Jack Nicholson to Christian Slater. I've always done it. Just something I've always done. But I'll figure out how to do Alex Jones, and then you'll have. I would love to see Izzo and I have an argument in Alex Jones versus Alex Jones. This video is Piers Morgan. I don't like Piers Morgan. I think Ben Shapiro had one of the best debates ever when he's arguing. He doesn't even start the debate, and he pulls out of his jacket the Constitution of the United States and hands it to Piers Morgan and says, you should read this since you obviously haven't. It was priceless. But I don't have to dislike Piers Morgan because he's not pro Second Amendment. His opinion doesn't even fucking matter. You're a Brit. We have 1,776 reasons not to give a shit what the English think. So I don't. Get your own country in order, right? You guys have an immigrant problem, and you guys are in deep trouble. And we're right behind you. So at least we have guns to protect ourselves. You guys are going to be begging, oh, I wish we had those bloody guns that those Americans have. Holy shit, tea and crumpets doesn't do any good against the illegals. They're raping all women. Bugger me. That man took a shat outside my door. If only I had a pistol to go ahead and slap him with my glove and draw down on that old boy. Fucking English. Anyway, you think a country that got its ass kicked by a bunch of people who had rifles that were citizens, that you would arm your citizens to ensure that you wouldn't get your ass kicked. Maybe in World War II, you guys would have fared a little better. You wouldn't have needed the United States to come over and save your ass, but that's a whole nother conversation. Here's the video of Piers Morgan literally trashing. I mean, first of all, this poor lady. I mean, you got Mike Knowles. You got the guy from Shark Tank. I don't even know his name. I like him, but I don't know his name. And then Piers Morgan. And then some other guy, I don't know. He looks Jewish. So he's going to be smart, right? A lawyer, probably. Joke. See, humor. I can make Jew jokes. See? Because I'm a Zionist. And then the lady on the right is definitely a liberal. I haven't even watched the whole video. I'm pretty sure she's the liberal. I could be wrong. Let's find out what Piers Morgan says. I've heard this is good. Let's see.
This has to do with Trump making his bronzer-stained bed with a porn star, trying to cover it up, and then getting caught doing it.
Out of interest, before I go to Michael, out of interest, why is Bill Clinton able to have sex with an intern in the Oval Office when he's president and lie to the American?
Not only that, but let's just get graphic. Ladies, cover your ears. I'm going to give you a second to cover your ears. He shoved a cigar in her pussy. Now, I've heard of brandy. Maybe some uncultured swine put it in scotch. Or some Courvoisier. Maybe. I've even seen people put it in a dark burgundy wine or Merlot, a cigar. But a humidor? Humidor, sorry. Oh, shit. Alexandra took my joke. So, I'm sorry. That's pretty, yeah. I mean, how do you have that conversation? Darling, hold on a second. No, hold on, baby. Listen, I know Willie Pete is your friend. I know you love him. I know I got a freshly scored scrotum for you. It's nice and fresh, but I want to go ahead and talk to you about this cigar. Now, I know you've never had a Cuban in you, darling, but this Cuban is 8 inches of pure, smooth undertones and nutty flavor. It's fantastic with a great finish. I just want you to go ahead and let me, I don't know, let's see, put it in your pussy. What do you think? How about it, Monty? Sound good to you? Great, let's get going. Holy shit. The balls on that guy. I mean, if I ask my wife, hey, babe, I've got this cigar. And I was wondering, yeah, if you take it up the ass first. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and put that away. Thanks, son. Appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and say no. Thanks for entertaining the thought. No.
People about it on national television. And why is he able to pay off Paula Jones?
Look at this lady. I haven't heard this. I'm 16 years old and I just got my gender studies degree. What are you talking about? When did this happen? I can't believe you're saying these things.
$50,000, 4 times as much, 5 times as much as the Trump payment to Stormy Daniels, to get rid of a sexual harassment claim, again, while he's president. And he has no criminal court recourse for that. Why is that deemed to be better than what happened with Trump and Stormy?
I don't think anyone is making that case, Piers.
I'm asking you, what's the difference? What's the difference?
Or any predator. The difference is that he didn't cook the books financially using his own, using back channels in order to pay.
So paying somebody off who says you sexually harassed her, paying nearly $1 million while you're the president of the United States, and then having sex with an intern in the Oval Office and lying about it, that's fine because he's a Democrat.
Yeah.
Piers.
Stop making Spontaneous combustion, folks. We've never seen it before, but we have empirical data now on video of a slight Mongolian/Chinese Pacific Islander persuasion female spontaneously combusting. She's from San Francisco. She has to be Chinese. More racial humor, folks. Don't take it personal. Let's not go ahead and also consider the $21 million and 172 cases of hush money that was paid by state legislators, senators, congressmen, and staffers, appointees over the last 20 years. By the way, that $21 million that was used was your taxpayer dollars. These legislators had a slush fund. Their names are masked, by the way. But I've got a list. I'm doing a show right now, and I'm trying to get as much information as I can to help you understand how your tax dollars, not only the $150 billion to Ukraine and the $150 billion they're wasting on the border, which is equivalent to, I think we found out, $2,426 per taxpayer just on those two things alone. Wow. But how your tax money is being wasted on legislators getting whores and hookers and paying off for sexually inappropriate situations and drunk driving and other things that are felonious, all in election years, all while sitting in their current seats as elected representatives, have not been charged FEC violations like Donald Trump. So I'm going to talk about this list. You're not going to hear this on any other station. You're going to hear it on my station. Why? Because I'm not afraid. I don't have anything with these people. They don't pay me. Now, you want to shut me up? Give me a contract for $10 million a year. You'll never fucking hear from me again. I can be bought, but I ain't cheap.
Only the leftists in your mind are making that argument.
Sorry?
What? Even Piers Morgan's like, what the bloody cheek? Listen here, Kev, you can't believe you'd say that about me. Listen. Nobody cared when Donald Trump was banging every chick he wanted to. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. They loved him. He was on rap albums, for God's sakes. He was on TV. People had him on, Oprah had him on her couch all the time. He was on Dave Letterman hated him. Dave Letterman always hated him, but Dave Letterman hates everybody. He's just a crotchety old jerk. But folks, can we just calm our tits about this type of stuff? Donald Trump is a philanderer. So was Kennedy. So was Clinton. 100%. Kennedy was addicted to frickin' codeine like you never would believe. John Kennedy needed multiple back surgeries and unfortunately couldn't appear to be weak to the Russians. He wore a wooden plank up his back for most of his presidency. He would lay on the White House floor and play with John, and he couldn't move. They had him on so many painkillers you couldn't even believe. And with a few scotches, and Irish whiskeys to boot. So Martin Luther King in the Lincoln bedroom had prostitutes and did sadomasochistic shit with them. Chips, dips, and whips, folks. These people are not necessarily the moral compasses of the world, and we don't want them to be because they're not our leaders. I can't stand when people say our leaders, our elected leaders. They're not your leaders. They are your employees. What in the hell are you thinking that you believe elected representatives are your leaders? Your leaders are the ones in your community. Your leaders are the people you surround yourself, the matriarch and patriarch of your family. Your leaders are your coworkers and bosses and your neighbors. Those are the people. Those are the people when push comes to shove, will stand by your side, not some politician. Really pisses me off that Facebook is throttling us so much tonight. God, I am so sick of their crap, but it's so nice to be on a platform like Wimkin, by the way. And it's not about plugging them all the time, but damn it, we're putting on the commercial because I'm sitting here watching them. Hundreds of comments, thousands of views. It's outperforming Facebook. And I've got 200,000. I'm going to hit 200,000 followers. 200,000. I've got a meme that has 36,000 comments and 36,000 comments and 63,000 likes on it. And I can't get more than 80 people. We had 250 on here last month every night. It's insane. So go to Wimkin, because you know what? I'm sick of this shit. Watch this video. It's hilarious.
Are you tired of being constantly banned off of every social media platform for saying facts only to be proven right 6 months later after you already had to create a new account? Tired of Fuckerberg robot AI-looking bitch constantly putting you in Facebook jail? Or maybe a geriatric old bastard who shits his pants in front of the Pope became the resident-in-chief because his crack addict, traitorous son had complete media silence about traitorous actions and backdoor deals with the big guy. And those bastards ban you for sharing the story. If you said yes to 2 of the 3 above, you don't need to circle back like a failed White House spokesperson who has 2 alcoholic drinks for a name. Up in Wimkin, we think it's fair not to sell your data to China, even though their president is super inclusive and named Xi. We kind of have a problem with the
Jen Psaki. I just got it. God, I'm so fucking slow. I'm sitting here like Claude Jean-Pierre, Anthony Scaramucci. Then I'm like, Psaki. Okay, fine. Psaki. I'm Japan. Jen Psaki. Holy shit. Oh, that's so fucking funny.
whole harvesting organs, slave labor, and communism. We also don't compromise you or get your kids to do stupid and dangerous trends. So you don't have to find out secondhand your kid Johnny is an idiot. Look no further than Wimkin. Made and housed in the USA, Wimkin offers all the features of Facebook and more, with complete data privacy and safe for your whole family. Download us on your app store today and join the community of users who value privacy and safety. Wimkin.
So the joke is, are you tired of White House press secretaries that are named after 2 drinks? Sake is rice wine in Japan warmed up. And of course, gin is from the juniper blossom and coined and bottled through casks of oak and whatever and distilled, and gin sucks. Gin sake. Gin sake. But that's how you said her name. Gin sake. And you guys remember, I used to say it all the time. I'm like, gin sake. By the way, folks, I got my new teeth. See? These were always fake. But they were Navy fake, military fake, DOD fake. And when the rifle butt came up and took out all my teeth and my face and my orbital canal, my bone structure, and my jawbone, they had to put crowns on there, and they've been falling apart. But these are real crowns. These are veneers, and I've got teeth. The bottom look like shit still. It's not that my teeth look bad. They're just, they're not as white and pretty as these. But so once in a while, I get that, Burt Reynolds thing. with my lip. You see the mustache and you see the white? That's why. It's like, dude, what the hell? It's like he's wearing a mouth guard. Last thing tonight. Dr. Fucky. I haven't said that in a while. Thank you, Loretta. Appreciate it. My teeth look great. Thank you. I agree. It's hard. Anyway, $5,000, folks, for 4 crowns. $5,000. Hayden walks in. She's like, hi, Dad. I'm like, hi, honey. How are you? She's like, I'm good. Just got home from school. I'm like, good. High school's coming up. She's like, yeah. So you want to see my teeth, hon? She's like, yes, I want to see them. She goes, oh, you look so good. You're handsome. I love your teeth. They look so good. I said, good, because that was your fucking car. Have a nice day. Oh, God, I'm a dick. Dr. Anthony Fauci. Now, I'm not going to sit. Wimkin people, don't get upset. This is, see, my audience for all the other channels, they just know. They just know Matt's going to piss us off every night. I'm going to piss you off right now, and you're going to have to embrace it, okay? I've made you laugh, hopefully. I probably had a lot of you just disconnect and not show ever again, but a lot of you are probably hopefully laughing and enjoying the show. I'm going to piss you off, okay? Donald Trump gave Dr. Anthony Fauci a medal, okay? I haven't forgotten. He put him in charge of policy, and that fucker was unelected, and he worked with Reagan, and he screwed up AIDS. And this guy did gain-of-function research in a Wuhan lab with the NIH. And we all got censored for talking about it. Donald Trump gave him a medal and literally gave him carte blanche to do whatever he wanted in the country. You need to remember that. Now, Donald Trump got bad advice. Stop it. Donald Trump fucked up. Say it. Say the words. It's okay. You listen to me. If Donald Trump was here right now, I would just be like, dude, Mr. President, holy shit. Can I tell you that you are the most amazing president of our time? Can I just walk through and tell you all the great things you did? And I'm sure he'd be like, let me tell you. And I have defended Donald Trump ad nauseum. There's a couple things I've hit him on. I didn't like his COVID response. I didn't like what he said to all the moms and the grandmas and daughters out there who watched their loved ones die. And he's like, oh, yeah, Melania's fine. Barron's fine. I took a little cocktail. I'm fine. You'll beat this easy, as people are beep. Probably not the best bedside manner, okay? Wasn't very happy with that. I thought it probably had one of the biggest impacts on the election from losing the female vote down 3%, which is what he did. He didn't gain. Biden got 3% of the female vote. That was probably most of those females. Not any of you Wimkin people, don't get upset. Hold on. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Donald Trump did not embrace Dr. Fauci, because he did. And I don't want to hear how he got bad advice and bad. Well, then you can say the same thing about Biden. Biden got bad advice too. But there is a very big difference in one of the things. Donald Trump stopped celebrating him as a hero once he realized that he wasn't. Now, Donald Trump still pushes the vaccine. That's his thing. He likes the vaccine. I don't agree with him. And just because I don't think anyone should get the vaccine who doesn't believe they need it. They know their medical history. The doctor knows their medical history. I am fit as a fiddle. I'm 50 years old. I have a sitting heart rate of 62 beats a minute. I can go run 3 miles and I don't break 130. Okay? I push 60,000 pounds a day lifting. It's not a whole hell of a lot for a weightlifter, but I take care of my body. I eat, well, yeah. But I work so hard, so I can't eat like that. My cholesterol, my doctor's like, dude, cardiovascularly, you're an 18-year-old. And your whole family dies of strokes and heart disease. I can't believe it. So I didn't get it. My kids didn't get it. My wife didn't get it. We were just like, no, we're fine. We're a healthy family. We're not going to get it. We got COVID or whatever it was. And we went down and it sucked. There's no doubt it sucked. And we had ailments for a long time, just like when you would have pneumonia or bronchitis or anything else. Okay, fine. No big deal. But I don't agree with the vaccine push with Trump. There, I've said it. Okay, now I've been fair. For the liberals who are lurking in the shadows, waiting to prey on me and my instability between both parties. There you go. I threw you a bone and said that Donald Trump supported Fauci. I don't like his support with vaccines, and I thought his bedside manner sucked through COVID a lot of times. But I also will give him credit for being out there for almost 90 days every day for 2 hours. 2 hours to 3 hours, and talk to the media and talk to the American people. It was leadership we had never seen from a president. And yes, he said some shit that, was off the cuff, because that's what Trump does. But it was reassuring. And that's why he had a 71% approval during COVID for the first 90 days. Then CNN put up the death ticker. Then the mishmash bullshit coming out about Fauci, the constant lockdowns, the schools, the absolute fatigue over COVID sucked. No, Keong, you're not going to make excuses for Donald Trump. No, I won't let you. I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to let you do it. No. Trump's first presidency was his first political position. Just like any new job, they tend to make mistakes. And then get blinded. I think Trump did mistake on his presidency, but I think it's mostly due to him being inexperienced and not knowing. Dude, okay, I'm not even going to read the rest. This was 2020, okay? He had the job for 4 years. He had learned the school of hard knocks. He got fucked over on the omnibus bill. He fell for that. He fell for the original PPP loans. He fell for the overall payouts. He also got killed on the annualized budget twice, and had to push through pork barrel politics. He got screwed over with his communication with Russia and was turned on by the media. The intelligence agencies turned on him. He was wiretapped and had secret FISA warrants against him. He found out all about that. Give me a fucking break. He knew what was going on. He had cut his teeth. If he hadn't learned in the fourth year that you can't trust people in politics, then that is a lesson that Donald Trump hopefully has learned for his 2024 presidency, which I pray he gets, so he can go ahead and correct those mistakes. But I'm not going to let anyone make – if Donald Trump was here, I would say it to him right to his face. And he'd be like, he'd probably degrade me and tell me, I'm mean and I'm ruthless, and you know what? And I would just say, it's not fair. I'm calling balls and strike, Mr. President. Nobody else is, because they want to kiss your ass. Nick Fuentes cried like a little bitch about you because you're not giving him the love and support that he deserves from 2016. Well, fuck you, Nick. You're a hot potato. You're an idiot. You're an anti-Semite. You hate Jews, and everyone knows that. Sorry, Trump is going to disassociate himself and let Biden hang for that, and you're a victim because you're hotter than a fucking nuclear reactor right now because you hate Jews, and Donald Trump wants the vote in Florida. Of course he's going to disassociate himself from you. And also, you can't grow a mustache. You're like a prepubescent boy. That jail pussy needs to go. So the whole point is Donald Trump is going to get away from people who are bad for him. So of course Nick Fuentes and Maya Yiannopoulos and Ye and all this other bullshit are gone because it's smart. But even if he was here, I would, with the utmost respect, and I wouldn't be so cavalier, I would ask him questions. Mr. President, help me understand. You've seen a lot about Dr. Fauci now, and you are completely, I understand you see it through the light. What was it that you found valuable about him, and why did you give him the authority to make public policy when he was an elected official? I would just ask that question. And I would hope that Donald Trump would say, you know what? I learned a lot. And I made mistakes, but he'll never say that. He would change the subject. So I'm going to go ahead and stay real here, okay? I'm going to just be honest. It's not to bash him. It's just to say he made mistakes. He did more good than harm. Now, can we get off this topic? Because I want to make sure people understand where I'm coming from. Good. Let's now talk about Dr. Fucky, who Joe Biden literally not only allowed him to create policy, he let him get away with one of the largest crimes ever in U.S. history by a government official. He lied about the etymology of the COVID strand. He pushed a narrative that was fake. He knew where it came from. They know that they were doing gain-of-function research, that they were splicing COVID into humans. They knew this. They knew it was SARS-2. They knew it back in the year 2000 when it first was exposed. This is what bio labs, and specifically labs of higher than rated 3 that are in 4 or 5, create mass casualty strains and extinction level event strains. And they research these to build antibodies. But either way, the way that it was handled, and to partner with China and fund the money going into that research in the Wuhan lab and to not oversee it, is a gross level of negligence of epic proportions. That one that maybe America could forgive if he wasn't so brazen and fucking cavalier about the whole thing. I want you to listen to this.
Of reality, unquote. You've said,
I've got another one to
these
show you after this. Listen.
Conspiracy theories, and like all conspiracy theories, they're just conspiracy theories. That's what you told the American people. And so would you like to clarify what science were you following then versus now?
No, I've also been very, very clear and said multiple times that I don't think the concept.
Yeah, Ed just says, Nick had the Groypers go after you personally. Yeah, and you know what's funny? The Groypers don't mess with me anymore because I was respectful. I make fun of Nick, and I poke fun of him, and listen, I think Nick's a smart guy. I think Nick, when he's 30 years old, is going to have a rude awakening, that he'll finally stop being celibate, and he'll get a girl, and he'll get laid. So a lot of that tension that he has, that he'll hopefully find God and a little mercy in his heart, that he has to, stop bringing the fire and brimstone. And Nick will uncover that he has said and done things that were counterproductive in a civilized society. Okay? I think that's going to happen. And I'm going to listen to Nick when that day comes, and I'm going to congratulate him on growing the fuck up. But if I wanted to listen to an adolescent teenager tell me their theory on life when they have never done anything remotely close to what I've done in life, seen the places, smelled the places, slept with the women I've slept with, done the things and seen the things that I've done, and tell me all about the world and the people in it simply because he read a book or he read some bullshit Mein Kampf and decided to go ahead and civilize it in today's world and start espousing it like the liberals do Saul Alinsky, unfortunately, I'm not going to listen to it. So when he grows up, I think Nick is going to do just fine in life. He's a real smart guy. But you know what? He's a single issue voter. He only cares about one thing, and that is to disassociate. How does he feel? He's all upset because of the $100 million that Donald Trump got from a Jew widow. Well, guess what? He got $20 million from a Jew in 2016. He sat down with the Koch brothers, for God's sakes. He sat down with BlackRock. He sat down with BlackRock in 2020. The same money that he got from Nikki Haley they had conversations with Donald Trump too. The money that they gave DeSantis, the same people had conversations with Donald Trump too. Do you really believe that any candidate running for president on a national scale with the absolute money raking in by Democrats should turn down any dollars from anybody? No. This is a national election. Just to get in the race, you got to have $750 million, and that was in 2016. Hillary Clinton spent $2.1 billion. Joe Biden's going to clear $2.5. You better at least spend 33% of that if you want to go ahead and maintain relevancy on TV and media and radio. So let's be honest. Donald Trump should take every single dollar he can. Nikki Haley should take every dollar she can. Yes, in an election, you take everything. And you're like, well, that buys access. It buys some favors. There's no doubt about it. Of course it does. But this is politics. This isn't backgammon. Smarten up. So Nick's upset. But what's funny is that Donald Trump was the worst alt-right guy in the world. He recognized Jerusalem as the capital. He had the Abraham Accords. He created peace treaties on 3 and was working on Saudi Arabia, which they completely fucked up because the Bidens suck. He recognized anti-hate crimes in Florida against the Jews. Kushner's Jewish, is he not? Donald Trump is the worst freaking white nationalist I've ever seen in my life. Let's listen to this.
Of there being a lab leak is inherently a conspiracy theory. What is conspiracy is the kind of distortions of that particular subject, like it was a lab leak and I was parachuted into the CIA like Jason Bourne and told the CIA that they should really not be talking about a lab leak.
Thank you.
That's the conspiracy.
Appreciate that.
Dude, what a dick. These elites, man, do you know where this type of confidence comes from? Can anyone tell me? It's a rhetorical question because I'm going to tell you. This type of confidence only comes from having a get out of jail free card. It's having a letter inside your lockbox. I'm going to hold it inside my lockbox and keep it for a rainy day, Tipper and I are. And when I open that lockbox, I am going to be safe. My lockbox is impenetrable. And I've got a card in there that makes me omnipotent. And if I'm going to look impotent, I better be impotent. They got get out of jail free cards. By order of the president is how that letter starts. The only way that you have that confidence is if you're Hillary Clinton. At this point, what difference does it make? Well, bitch, let's go ahead and go through the laundry list of what it makes. We got 4 Americans that are dead because you couldn't decide what fucking uniforms they were going to wear, whether they were going to go show Old Glory in duotone or in red, white, and blue. At 3 a.m., you answered the phone and you hung up. You then went ahead and lied about it. That's just the start. You want to go through the email server? She got a get out of jail free card. The get out of jail free card is 17 minutes of James Comey saying how guilty she is and then saying, yeah, but she didn't mean to. She didn't mean to. Oh, well, listen, I didn't mean to shoot that guy 47 times. Oh, you didn't? Oh, well, I'm sorry, sir. Come here. Come here. Let's get those cuffs off. Get out of here, you big lug. You shitting me? Hillary Clinton has the balls of brass. James Comey goes over there and litigates the case of why she's going to Leavenworth for at least 20 years and then says, yeah, but she didn't mean to. The same thing will be Dr. Fauci, because this is the problem. You believe that the insane asylum is going to be held accountable by the patients. The patients are running this asylum. You want the people who spent $32 trillion to balance our budget? This is like getting a degenerate gambler to educate people on the finer points of blackjack. This whole thing of, I didn't know I was breaking the law, it doesn't matter. Because all I got to say that to the IRS is, hey, I didn't mean to not pay my taxes. Oh, Mr. Spear, you can go ahead and keep that money. We didn't know that. Can you imagine if we did that? We'd be in jail. They'd take our house. Civil forfeit, assature, whatever. Fuck it. I can't even talk. Taking our stuff. It's always amazing when I get hooked up on one word. I'll have a show and I just crush it for 2 hours and then civil forfeit affiture, right? Is that what it is? I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. The point is, this shit is they have a get out of jail free card. By order of the president, I do decree that the following will be done by Dr. Anthony J. Fauci. I don't even know his middle initial. D for dick. Procure funds for Wuhan lab. Begin and implement final phase 1 and 2 of gain of function research on airborne gonorrhea and chickenpox, influenza, injecting chimpanzees and puppies with bird flu and mad cow disease, and implementing COVID strains from avian-type creatures and warm-blooded mammals into human beings. By writ of the President of the United States, signed, sealed, and fucking delivered with a stamp. He's got that letter. Civil asset forfeiture. Thank you so much. My God. Easy for you to say. So my whole point is that when they are this arrogant, where they're making jokes and they're smiling and laughing in the face of when Joe Biden's walking away from the podium and they go, is this a political hit job on your opponent? He turns around and smiles and winks. Yeah, this is it. They got to get out of jail free card. Here's the rest.
Dr. Fauci, how much have you earned from royalties from pharmaceutical companies?
Zero.
It says NIH scientists made $710 million in royalties from drug makers. You're saying that you did not receive any of the $710 million.
On COVID, I received, I think, $122 for an.
You are so full of shit. Dude, wait till the deferments kick in. Wait till the deferments kick in. Wait till the dust settles. I want to know what options you got. I don't want to know about the cash. I want to know the stocks you got. I want to know the stock options you got. That's what I want to see. I want to see the investment in 4 years after your shares come in. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see cash. Give me a break.
Clonal antibody that I made 27 years ago.
Okay, so just in general, though, how much have you received, not related to COVID, just in general, how much have you received in royalties between 2021 and 2023?
I think none.
Okay, so somebody received the $710 million.
Somebody did, but not me.
You didn't receive any royalties. Okay.
I see no royalties associated with COVID. I mentioned.
I said.
No, I want to.
No, I just said.
I'm on the record, and I want to make sure that this is clear. That I've developed a monoclonal antibody about 25 years ago that's used as a diagnostic.
It doesn't matter when you did it. It doesn't. I wrote a rap album when I was 16 years old. We were the Cold Fresh Posse. 2 black guys and 2 white guys. One of them was named Albino. The other guy was Wise. I was Stylee, or Trigger, and the other guy was Styles. And we had a rap album, and it was shit. It sucked. I mean, it sucked. But let's just say it gets put on YouTube and it goes viral, and I go ahead and get the copyright for it. Just because I made it when I was 16 years old, and I made it in 1988, whatever it was, and I get a check for $3 million, I still got paid for it during that time for that reason. So you can't sit here and tell me when M decides to go ahead and remix my Cold Fresh Posse soundtrack, Living on the Streets of VTA, and that was the name of the damn song, and he decides to re-record it, and I get $20 million, I still got paid by M in 2023, 2024 for the work I did. I don't care when I did it. That's when I got the money. So stop sitting here and saying, well, I developed an antibody string that was used for COVID and I've been paid for that, but I did that 22 years ago. That is a dodge, you prick. Nobody's finding that album, Thomas. Don't even give me a break.
That
no
has
way.
Nothing to do with COVID, and I receive an average of about $120 a year from that
Okay,
patent.
but the bottom line here.
Off with the heads, dare I say. Here is, by the way, the guy that was sitting behind him, he's a J6er, and he was sticking out his tongue, making faces. It was funny. Here is the last part, 19 seconds.
It's because there are a segment of the pop. I'm still getting death threats when you have performances like that unusual performance by Marjorie Taylor Greene in today's hearing. Those are the kind of things that drive up the death threats, because there are a segment of the population out there that believe that kind of nonsense.
Were you aware that?
I don't think that any person, as a person who's, you going to bed? Yeah. Come on, mate. What are you doing, dude?
I know. Good night.
Love you, son.
Egg drop tomorrow. Wish me luck.
You're doing egg drop soup at the Yin Yang restaurant? What?
No, egg drops. School egg drops.
What the hell's school egg drop? It's June. Why are you doing eggs? Oh, egg drop. So how are you gonna build it? You need straws? What are you gonna do?
We already built it yesterday.
What did you build? Did you listen to your old band?
Yes, I tried.
You lied. What did you build? What did you tell me what you built?
I built, there were two bags for parachutes with straws connected, and then I have this I have a little door.
You put 2 bags or 3 bags? 2. Why didn't you do 3? Because I didn't have enough. You've seen resupply drops. 3 parachutes. Create stability. 2 parachutes. It's going to topple. Okay. How high are you dropping it from? Pray to God it's not more than 10 feet. If it's 10 feet, you're FUBAR'd. You're SOL. Good luck. Hey, you're going to do just fine. The only problem with doing an egg drop is you want to do it again an hour later. But you don't get that. It's a Chinese joke. Get out. Have a good night's sleep. Death threats suck. I've had death threats. I've had serious death threats. Like, I had such a serious death threat that I had to have a couple of friends who ran around in black pajamas in the military visit somebody in a Houston restaurant and send a little message. Unfortunately, Matt can't be here today, but he won't be required because they're never going to find your body if you ever threaten his little girl and mom again, or wife again. It was pretty vile. Most people who were here remember it. But I receive, I don't know, 30, 40 a month. I put them on the site. And the day that I don't is the day that I take it seriously. Fauci has bodyguards. Fauci is a protected guy. And I think it sucks. He shouldn't have death threats. He needs to face a jury and a trial. And somebody needs to bring charges against him. The Groypers did send death threats against me. Yes, they did. The Groypers were very upset with me. They don't believe a German, white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed military guy who fits the demographic should ever speak out against him and support Jews. Well, fuck them. I don't care. But Dr. Fauci needs to be held accountable. And there needs to be an investigation into his finances. The investigation needs to go into what did he know? Because ultimately, do I believe that Dr. Fauci created a strain to kill Americans and Chinese and destroy billions of lives around the world? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Do I believe that he is an arrogant dick who was wielding powers like a chemistry set, like only the powers that God should have and messing with creation? Yes. Should he be held accountable for that? With no equivocation. That's my point. What I told him to do, Thomas, was to freeze the egg. But that would be considered cheating. He's like, Dad, how do I freeze the egg? I'm like, you go get compressed air and turn it upside down. And empty the entire can or 2 on the egg, and it will freeze. Then you put it in with 3 bags, and that sucker is going to land and anyway, it doesn't matter. We had one survive at 62 feet when I worked for Apple. We won. 62-foot drop on an egg. And that's what I did. I got compressed air and I froze the egg. And people said I cheated. And I said I didn't cheat. I adapted and I overcame the problem. I worked the problem. That's why you hired me. I wasn't very well liked. There was another time, quickly. Oh, I can't. We got to go. No, I extended the time, so it's not going to shut off on Wimkin. So we've got a minute. We once did those stupid things where you go and you get trapped in the room and you got to get out. What do they call those things? Somebody throw me the answer. Not a panic room. A good movie, by the way. What do they call those things? What are the things that you go into the room and you got to work yourself? See, smart guy, right? Can't even remember what the hell it's called. I'm getting old. Hey, son of a bitch, what the fuck is that thing called? It's bath. No, not a bathroom. Get off my lawn. What the hell? Come on, what's it called, people? It's not a puzzle room. It's a puzzle room? Escape room. That's it. Escape room. Yeah, I had it all along. I didn't need your help. Knock it off. So we went to these one. It was in Chicago. And it was one of the, no, it's in San Francisco. It was Apple. And it was me and like 7 other leaders. And we got to go into this escape room. And an old theater. I don't know, an old San Francisco movie theater. And they had quadranted off. And they had, like 10 different escape rooms. It was massive. You go into the room and you've got, little clues. There might be like a black skull right there and you got to look at it and You shine it up to the light, it reflects, and you get a message, or Indiana Jones shit, right? And they told us you have 1 hour. You're going to go in here, and you can't force anything open. I'm like, okay. You can talk amongst yourselves. You can't skip clues. You can't use your phones. Basic things, shit like that, just basic rules. And I'm listening. I'm like, okay. And my regional manager comes over to me. He's like, no. I'm like, no what? He's like, no, I know you. You have been on the precipice of being fired like every month for the last 5 years because you don't follow policy. You need to stop. You could be a fucking vice president of Apple. You could be making $500,000 a year. Just stop. I can see your mind. I already know what you're going to do. Now knock it off. I can't protect you. You're at a company event. We've got 3,000 store leaders here. Tim Cook is literally across the street coming to talk to us. Don't cheat. I'm like, what? Cheat? I don't cheat. I mean, fuck. Just because I'm white, yo? Yes, I watched Panic Room. It's a good movie. Elaine asked. Good movie. I liked it. So I asked the question. I said, what's the point of the game? They said, to escape the room. I'm like, perfect. Thank you. So when they said that, I kind of just went like that on my face. And regional goes, you okay? So yeah, I'm fine. Everything's good. He's like, man, I was just messing around. I know you're going to be good. He's like, are you okay? You don't look good. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. And in the process, I'm biting my tongue on the back, which if you've never wanted to look like you're in pain or uncomfortable, that's a really good way to do it. And I'm biting pretty hard and start sweating a little bit. And I'm, like that. And then the guy's about ready to leave the room. And I said, hey, I got a question for you. I'm not feeling too hot. What's the record to get out of these rooms? And he's like, someone's done it in like 17, 18 minutes on this particular exercise. I'm like, okay, thanks. So the clock starts. And the lights shift, and you hear the door lock, and it was really that sound effects. It was cool. It's like Mission Impossible. Boom. It's cool. It was great. It was fun. The moment that hit, I immediately hunched over, fell down, and started convulsing. Very reminiscent of a seizure, rolling my eyes back up in my head to the point where they were white, like you just saw, salivating, frothing, and shaking violently. And you see the store leader from Valencia and the store leader from Topanga turn around and both scream, Matt! And run at me and come down and try to secure me. And then my regional goes, what the hell is going on? It's like, he's having a seizure. And they're like, get his head. And he takes off his coat. He's wearing a fucking, I don't know, probably Armani or some shit. Folds it up and puts it under my head. And I don't know what the clock is, but it's probably around 7 to 14 seconds. And immediately lights come back on to full level. Door opens up and the guy walks in and he's like, we just called 911. Just keep secure. And I just pop up and I'm like, doors open. We win. Wasn't very popular at Apple. It was good. And we had amazing results. Our store was number 1 in customer service in the world. India, New York, fucking Beijing, Los Angeles, number 1. Bakersfield, California, number 1 in customer service in the world. We averaged a 96 over 5 years in customer service. Unheard of in NPS. And in employee satisfaction, we were only rivaled by that, where we averaged 97%. We loved winning. We loved it. This team was amazing. But yeah, I was on my way out. I just was done. And I was kind of doing whatever I could. My back hurt all the time. I was sick of standing on my feet for 40, 50 hours a week. But that's why I don't work in the corporate world anymore. We got out. I think we got out in 17 seconds, 21 seconds. Oh, fuck. They were pissed. Oh, God, they were pissed. I got my ass chewed all the way back to the airport. I thought I was going to get fired, but it was fun. So, folks, the whole moral of the story is win at all costs. They were just pissed off. They were just pissed off that they didn't think of it. But that story lived in infamy. We got a whole bunch of stories. We'll share them with you over the. It's not a cheater. I wasn't cheating. I didn't cheat. My job was to escape the room. I escaped the room. How was that cheating? They told me to escape the room. Matt, your right hand is too white. Redo the rep. No, that's because it's hitting the light. Watch. This doesn't have a light. This does. That's why. It's not too tight. Thank you for being concerned. It's not too tight. Like I put my finger in it. It's perfect. Thank you though for your concern. I appreciate you. All right, let's do a quick vote. Is that cheating? Did I cheat? Thank you, Shirley. We had fun tonight. I like these nights. I like it when it's more relaxed and we can have a good time and joke around and have a good time. Let's wrap it up. Folks, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. We will be back tomorrow. We will have the Donald Trump rally live at 7 o'clock. I'll make sure I'll do that for you. We'll have a recorded show tomorrow. We will see. Jason says no. Jason said I didn't cheat. There it is. If Jason Hyde says I didn't cheat, I didn't cheat. I adapted. I overcame. Listen, I watched Heartbreak Ridge. It was one of my favorite movies in the world. And when Mario Van Peebles, is in the pit, and he reaches up and grabs the two Marines by the balls and squeezes, and they drop, and he wins, and he walks out. He cheated. He adapted. He overcame. I watched that movie. And in conflict, there is no cheating. It's whoever comes up with the best execution of the plan. It's not cheating. It's not cheating at all. Maybe it is. They weren't happy. I'll tell you about the response. I'll tell you about the lecture I got. I had to go to Leadership Essential Training, RLE. And RLE was only chosen for the best of the best. The best of the best. But I went there to learn a lesson about how bad I was going to be and get humbled. Well, I kicked ass in RLE. I rocked it. I was everybody's favorite because I did a Johnny. Okay, I got to tell you a story. Fuck, this is so fun. So, no, we're not good night. Get your ass back in here. We're not leaving. Shit. You know me. I can't walk away. So we had to build bikes for underprivileged youth. And when Apple builds bikes, I'm talking 1,000. And these aren't like little $40. We're talking $250 cruisers and bikes, real bikes. I mean, easily a couple $100,000 worth of bikes in this hotel. And we had teams of like 40 people. And we had to create bikes and build bikes. Well, the problem is that we didn't have any tools. So you had to go around and answer questions at stations. And there were big leaders there. Like Johnny Ive was there. Tim Cook was there. Woz was there. I mean, the Apple punch list of people who've worked there were there. And then regionals and presidents and, all that shit. And you would go to these stations and you would run over there and they'd be like, okay, in 1973, Apple released a series of product that launched them into success. Which product was it? And I was like, oh my God, it's the Mac 2. It's the Mac 2. And whatever the fuck it was, who cares? And they'd be like, here's a screwdriver. And you're like, thanks. And then, you run back and we got a screwdriver, guys. And people are like, yeah. And I'm sitting there like, I got a multi-tool in my back pocket. Can we just, no, Matt, no. Oh, sorry. You can't cheat. Okay, fine. Fuck. There's a janitor. I walked by it 3 times. I can go ask him, give him $20 and ask for his toolkit. No, Matt. Okay, well, fine. I won't do that. So I didn't cheat. And they're like, we have to make a video now. So you have to make a video of your bike. And you've got to film it with an iPhone. And then you've got to narrate it and write context. And I'm like, I'll do it. And Judy, who was the person with me, goes, no. no, you're going to hire a film crew or some shit, or no, you're going to make a mockery of us. I'm like, no, I won't. I'm going to do it right. I promise. I'm going to be on my best behavior. And she's like, okay, this is our district. You and I work in the same region. If you embarrass me, I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm too old. I'm like, lady, you've been here since 82. You've got about $40 million in Apple stock. Give me a fucking break. I know what I've made in the last 2.5, 3 years here. I know you've been here for 20 years. You are rich beyond rich. You have a golden fucking parachute. And that's the truth. They paid store leaders $175,000 a year. They got $175,000 of stock a year. They were pushing just shy of 425, and the stock split 7 fucking times, or split when it hit 700 twice, and then it split again at 346. You do the math. There were store leaders who were there who had $10-20 million in stock for retirement. I mean, just making money hand over fist. Anyway, so I'm like, I'll make the video. And I think we were using like the iPhone 7 at the time, just, whatever. I mean, state of the art. So I'm like, all right, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go get a broom handle. I want you to get some duct tape. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put that on our shoulder. And we're going to go ahead and make a rig to go ahead and do filming of the bike. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take it into a closet. Need someone to find a flashlight. We're going to go ahead and bounce it off a mirror. And we're going to, have the tire, go across the alloy of the tire, have the light go across, film it, go down the sissy bar, or not the sissy bar, but the bar goes down the middle, go across the seat, go across the handle. And I want you guys to take shots of that. They're like, got it. So they start doing that. I'm like, Judy, you're smart. You were a teacher. I need you to write a script. She goes, no problem. I got it. She goes, what do you want me to say? And I said, I want you to write a script narrated by Johnny Ive. And she's like, no. She didn't cuss. She's Christian church. No beans and potatoes way. Have you guys, once I do the voice, like, Judy, just do it. She's like, God, I don't want to get fired. Johnny Ive is going to see this. I said, I know. I need you to write it. So about 5 minutes go by. She was amazing. It doesn't have to be a 30-second video. Amazing, talented woman. And I got the iPhone, which just came out with a brand new voice recorder because it had the two. Everyone thinks there's two mics, two speakers. It's not. One of them's a microphone. One of them's a speaker on the iPhone. It's not stereo. It's pseudo stereo. So people see the two speakers and they go, my other speaker's not working. That's a mic, dummy. So they added record, voice recorder. They always had the mics, the 3 dots right here where you would talk, blah, 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 blah. But this has a studio quality mic, really high quality mic. So I'm like, I've got this. So I go into a room, and I think it was the janitor closet, and it's dark. And I'm like, I need complete silence because that is the only way to do an Apple commercial. Because when the aluminium from the alloyed wheels with 32 design spokes not only offer a persistent ride that's smooth and luxurious, but offers structure, support, stability in the new Bike 7. With reflectors that illuminate, that let people know, caution, a rocket is going by in a streak of blinding light as the cobalt blue and the blackest of black leather, with 10 speeds of gears that stride easily like the Sahara and the cheetah. This is Bike 7. Only Apple could create something so perfect, so effortless, so God-given and awarded to you, the immortal soul, coming to an Apple store near you. Something to that effect. And it was fucking flawless. It was so perfectly Johnny Ive. And this looked like an Apple commercial. But the only problem is that an English guy is not going to appreciate some uppity, cheeky American doing their voice. I had never heard so much laughter in everybody. And as you had the executives of Apple, Tim Cook and Johnny Ive and all of them sitting on a dais as 3,000 store leaders, world leaders of Apple, are laughing their ass off at this video as it plays. I look over at Tim Cook, he's laughing. I look over at Woz, he's laughing. I look over at my regional, everyone's laughing. Everyone is fucking laughing at this because every time I talk, people are like, shh, we want to hear the next line, you know? I look over at Woz and he's like this. If I can find it, there was a copy of it, and I will absolutely play it. The funny part of it is that when they said who made the video, I got to stand up and I asked Tim Cook a question. And the question was, Tim, you are the CEO of the company. If you could change one thing right now for the panel, what would it be? If Tim went on vacation and you would change one thing. And oh man, that question went on for 30 minutes and everybody's like, wow, what a good question. And then it got to Johnny Ive. And Johnny goes, just to be honest, I'd fire Matt Spear. And it was great. It was just totally broke the ice. And then he asked me to stand up and he goes, where'd you come up with that question? I said, it's a question I've always asked in my interviews. And he goes, okay. And he goes, anything else? And I said, I just want to go ahead and say that my son, he was born just a few days ago, and my wife and I are extremely happy. And it's an amazing thing. And like Tim Cook never said a word to me in his life. And he just goes, I can't believe you're here. Thank you so much for being here. That was a great question. And I'm just like, fuck, my career is on fire. And then I went on leave. And I never went back. So that's it. That's my Apple story. And the reason I didn't go back is because I was on a lot of medication and I didn't do my job and I lost my passion and my thrill for life. And that was a journey of rebuilding myself. And we'll go over that some other time. Thanks for listening, folks. Appreciate it. Thanks for the show. Some people left, some people didn't. I don't care. I just love talking to y'all. It means a lot. $8.41. Somebody gave me some money through Stripe. I don't know who you are, but I love you. And I appreciate you doing it. Thank you so much. Folks, you can donate to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, linktapgo.com, the DUM Show. All that Apple stock is gone, and your help will keep this show going. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for taking care of us. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We will be on Bright-Eyed and Bushy-Tail. Olivia and I will be on the show. God bless. Take care of each other. And remember, we can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, Olivia, and Mike. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on the Spreely.tv network and all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.